So this is my story. So when I was 7 years old, I was with my dad. We were playing. He picked us up. We were at the Swap and Shop. If anybody knows what a Swap and Shop is, it's where they go to watch movies, but during the day they have like a little Swap and Shop thing. And I was just running around this car, and I fell on the ground, slid real hard, knocked the wind out of my stomach. It was bad. But my stomach hurt real bad. I kept telling my sister, my stomach hurts, my stomach hurts. I said, it just really, really hurts. So my sister was 11 at the time, I was 7. So the day goes on, and we're at my dad's house, and she says, well, just lift up your shirt. Let me just suck in your stomach, lift up your shirt. Let me see what's going on. So I looked up my shirt, and I sucked in my stomach really tight. And she goes, oh my God, you're missing a rib. What's wrong? So she goes, Dad, she's missing her ribs. So my dad calls my mom, and he's, I'm taking her to the hospital. Let's go to the hospital. So we go to the hospital, and that's when we find out that I had scoliosis. I had no idea. I didn't know I was like that. But looking back, I see my pictures, and I was always a little crooked, just a little crooked. So as I go on, life gets a little bit, I grow up a little bit, and I keep getting a little bit more crooked. And at that time, my mom, she had her own cleaning business, and we were always just working. And one of the businesses that we cleaned for, there was a Shriner. One of the ladies' husband was a Shriner. And he saw how bad I was looking, because I was pretty crooked. And so I come home from my dad's house one day, and there was this Cadillac in our driveway. And I'm going, that's not my grandma's Cadillac. That's kind of weird. So I walked inside the house, and there's these two old men there with these funky little hats on. And I'm like, okay, well, this is kind of weird. And they're telling me, and they're saying, we're from the ARAT Shrine, because at the time we lived in Kansas City, Missouri. We're from the ARAT Shrine, and we understand that you have scoliosis, and we're here to take some pictures of you, and we're going to show them to the doctors in St. Louis, and we're going to see if we can help you. But we just need to take some pictures, so we'll have you just take off your shirt and just kind of turn around. But in my mind, I'm thinking there's old men in my house when we take off my shirt and bend over, and I don't know if I can do this. I was only like 9 or 11 at the time. It scared me to death. But I did what they asked. So I took these pictures for them, and then we started taking these little visits. They would have us meet at the ARAT Shrine at 1 o'clock in the morning, just me and my mom. And they put us in this van, and we have these two men with these big hats on again. And here I am. I don't know what a Shriner is, but I know we're going to the we're going to the Shriners Hospital in St. Louis. So we leave at 1 o'clock in the morning. We drive all night long, because it's about a 5-hour drive from Kansas City to St. Louis. And they stop at one of the places along the way. We have breakfast. But for me, it was a really special time because me and my mom got to spend some time together. She was always busy working, but we got to spend our time together. And then we get there at 7 o'clock in the morning. We go see the doctors, and then we would head back home. So at that time, I think my curve in my spine was about 35, 40 degrees. It was getting to be pretty bad, but it was just a wait and see kind of a game. So, but we would go back every year, or maybe every 8 months or so we'd go back. We would do these trips every time. So about 14 years old, it was starting to get pretty bad. And I was noticing I was having to raise my leg up, and I was always trying to compensate. I was noticing that my clothes weren't fitting very good. And I was being a little bit more self-conscious of everything. Luckily, the kids at school didn't make fun of me, which was good, because I was really starting to look pretty deformed at that time. So we went back, and I was, starting to go through a growth spurt. And about 14, 15, I went through a pretty big growth spurt. At that time, my curvature had grew 22 degrees in 1 year. So at that point, I was at 62-degree curve. And at this point, I had levo, so my scoliosis was levoscoliosis. So it was the left curve, and it was curving into my ribs were curving into my heart and my lungs. So at this point, the doctors are like, well, if you don't have this surgery by the time you're 21, you're not going to make it. So this is where it kind of chokes me up. So I knew I needed to have this surgery. But now we're on the wait list, so we can have this surgery. So life goes on. We lose our house, because we were pretty poor. we lost our house. We moved into a new house. I'm 15 at this time. And I just came home from school, and we get the phone call. It's time for surgery. And my mom and my dad were divorced and everything. But my dad happened to pull up that day. And in our family, we're not real lovey-dovey or nothing, but my dad was outside, and I remember running outside, and I said, Dad, I gotta go have surgery in 12 days. And I just remember just wrapping my arms around him, and he just hugged me really hard, and he's like, it's gonna be okay, we got this. So, I'm sorry. So anyway, we left for St. Louis. There were 6 kids in my family, and my brothers, my brothers at the time, he was 17, and I had a younger brother. My older sister had already moved out, but we also had twins, they were 7 years old. So my mom, she left my brother who was 17, my brother who was 13, and the twins, they stayed at home while my mom went to the hospital with me in St. Louis. And my grandparents went and everything, and they pretty much cut me from head to the bottom. It was stretch, big surgery. And I remember waking up after the surgery, and my grandpa answered the phone, and I said, Grandpa, I said, I hurt. I said, I really hurt. And Grandpa's like, I know, baby, I know. But that was a moment that every time afterwards, my grandpa, every time he talked to me, he goes, I remember picking up that phone, Jennifer, and you cried, I heard, Grandpa, I heard. And that was just a memory that we kept every since then. We always had that special moment that we had, because he was not a very nice grandpa, but we had that moment where he was nice. But, so anyways, my mom could only stay for a couple of days while I was in the hospital in St. Louis, but my dad showed up. My dad didn't have a penny to his name, but he showed up, and he come walking in. And now my dad, he kind of looks like Hillbilly Bob, right? He's got these overalls on, he's got this funky little hair, and he walks in, he goes, I'm here, Jen, I'm here. I'm like, okay. So he comes, and he stayed with me for 10 days in that hospital, but he couldn't afford a hotel room. So he stayed, he'd go out at night when it was time to close, when the hospital, what do you call it?
Visiting hours.
Yeah, visiting hours were done. He'd go out and he would go sleep in his truck. Well, the Shriners Hospital found out that he was doing this after 3 days. They said, you can't do that no more. And he goes, well, I don't have the money, I can't go to a hotel. So they put him in a hotel, which I was so grateful for. So he was in their hospital room with me, and then the visiting hours were closing. I'm like, okay, Dad, now go back to the hotel, watch some TV, take a nice shower, clean up a little bit, and then come back and come see me the next day. And we'd watch some more Grease or whatever, because this happened, my surgery was May 20th, 1990. And so I loved Grease back then. So he'd watch Grease with me over and over again in the hospital. But yes, so I was in there for 10 days. I finally got out, got to go home. I turned 16 2 days after I got home. So couldn't do anything for a year. Couldn't lift anything over 5 pounds for a year. One of the good things that came out of it was my brothers didn't hit me ever again after that. They never touched me, which was super nice, because they were super mean. But yeah, so what the Shriners did to me was, the Shriners gave me back my confidence. They gave me life. They gave me my family. I have 3 kids. I have a wonderful husband. I had a great career as a dental assistant for 23 years. Probably wasn't the best career to pick, having a bad back, but I got to have a good career. But they gave me life, and they gave me hope. And you guys, everything that you guys do and everything that you guys work for, all of your sacrifices that you guys give, everything you guys do, it really does mean a lot. And I stand here today and I thank every single one of you for everything that you guys do, because it really does make a difference. I thank you guys so much.